fighting for the values that make Nebraska the good life. This is Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald on 1499.3 KLIN.
Well, the survey says, recent survey shows a major shift in the priorities that people have for the presidential election. It's very interesting. I'll get to that in just a minute. It is Friday, and obviously it's Husker game day tomorrow. We're going to play Cornhusker Pride by veteran Phil Nickerson at the end of the show, as we always do. You can only hear it right here on Drive Time Nebraska, so stay tuned for that. If you got a question or comment throughout the show, obviously, you can call or text the Hunt Irrigation Talk and Text line, 402-479-1400. You can also comment on all of our 8 different social media feeds as well. Plus, in just a couple minutes, we have a big announcement that I'm excited to be able to share with you. Kelly just texted in and said there are accidents up and down 27th Street between Randolph and Van Dorn. So if you're in those areas, just be careful. All right, well, let the shenanigans continue. Federal judge today ordered Virginia to halt its removal of potential non-citizens from the state voter rolls. A decision made and expected to restore voting rights of some 1,600 residents. Here's the thing. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin said this. His administration is planning to file an emergency stay for this. They'll appeal all the way to the Supreme Court if they have to. Very stunning that this federal judge would order Virginia to reinstate people who have already self-identified as non-citizens back to the voter rolls. It makes no sense. None. Then in Pennsylvania today, they're investigating as many as 2,500 fraudulent voter registration applications that election workers have flagged in Lancaster County there in Pennsylvania. They're reviewing personal information, identification, and signatures listed from the forms that are inaccurate, signatures that don't match, forms that are completely filled out by the same individual, and the list goes on and on. So the shenanigans continue, and they will for the next 10 days. Now, let's get back to that survey. A recent survey, like literally within the last couple of days, shows a major shift in the priorities that people have for the presidential election. This survey asks this question: how important, if at all, are each of the following issues in making your decision about who to vote for president this year? The number one issue was, Wyatt, do you know?
Nope.
Okay. That was pretty simple. Inflation and increasing costs.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Here's where it got interesting. Number 2 now is free speech.
Really?
Yeah. People feeling like it's being taken away or potentially could be taken away. And I think Elon has a big deal to do with this.
I was going to say, yeah, with X's whole new upbringing with Elon, I figured that wouldn't be too much of an issue now, because I feel like that's quite the opposite. It feels like people are kind of able to say a lot what they want to these days.
I think that, but on the other side, you have rhetoric of them saying, we're going to take it away. You got Hillary Clinton saying, we shouldn't allow people to speak, if they don't agree with us. That goes down the party line. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
The third was healthcare. The fourth was abortion. On the bottom of the list, the very bottom of the list, climate change and racial and ethnic inequality.
Wow.
So it's totally shifted, which is very interesting.
That's crazy. I kind of thought that at least that issue would be higher.
I did too. So the free speech moved up, those others moved down. And anyway, and again, this is a roller coaster ride that we'll keep you updated on for another 10 days. Actually, the roller coaster ride might run through next year. So no matter what happens. So, all right, 2 big deadlines today, just so you know, if you're getting ready to vote, voter registration to vote in person at the local election commissioner's office is today. That deadline is already, the deadline is already passed for you to vote online or by mail. But if you want to vote in person today, as long as you're in line, from what I've just heard, by 6 o'clock, then you can be accommodated. No matter if the line's a mile long, as long as you're in line, they're going to accommodate you. Also, today is also the final day for voters to request an early vote ballot to be mailed to them for the general election. The Lancaster County Elections Office obviously is at 601 North 46th Street. And again, they're closing at 6, but as long as you're in line, they will accommodate you for that. All right, today we're going to hear an amazing story of a nonprofit that's making an incredible difference in the lives of people across the country and around the world. In a few minutes, we're going to be joined by Rodney Smith Jr. from Raising Men and Women Lawn Care Service. This is an awesome story. I can't wait for him to share it. The nonprofit uses ordinary lawn maintenance services, and they encourage young girls and boys to develop a positive path by helping people that are in need to help with their lawn care, whether it's elders, the disabled, single mothers, veterans. They have over 5,100 kids mowing lawns across the country and also in 8 different countries. And they've done well over 20,000 lawns. He was just in Nebraska to give an award to one of the kids for the challenges that they provide. They've been featured on the ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, and CNN, so we'll hear from him in just a couple of minutes. Coming up next week on Drive Time Nebraska, we'll hear from Senator Pete Ricketts on Monday, and then on Wednesday, State Senator Luann Linehan will be in. We're going to talk about the referendum for 435 and school choice. Now, big announcement. We've locked in, get this, for Drive Time Nebraska. We have locked in on election night, Tuesday night, November 5th. We're going to be on the air from 5 to 7. We get an extra hour, Wyatt.
Yeah.
You're going to be in Cabo.
Yeah.
Tanning your hide.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be here for an extra hour.
Now, I'm going to leave you some supplies to get you through election night.
All
I know
right.
it's going to be a roller coaster, and it's going to be a long night for you and everyone in the station. So I'll leave y'all some stuff.
All right. I'm excited for that. We're going to take your calls. We want to know what's going on out in the polling areas throughout the night. So we'd love for you to call in on election night. We're going to hear from candidates making their last pitches to appeal for you to go to the polls. And then we're going to get political commentary throughout the entire show and insight from former executive director of the Nebraska Republican Party and political consultant Bud Seinhorst, and former Drive Time host and chairman of the Lancaster County Republican Party, Jack Riggins. I'm excited to have Jack back in and be able to work with him again. So, all right, coming up after the break, we'll be joined by Rodney Smith from the nonprofit Raising Men and Women Lawn Care Service and hear that amazing story. If you have a question or comment, call or text 402-479-1400. Plus your chance to play Fantasy Huskers. It's around the corner. And speaking of the Huskers, we're going to be playing Cornhusker Pride by veteran Phil Nickerson at the end of the show today as we root on the Husker football team. All right. Thanks so much for listening to Drive Time Nebraska. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Get today's top news and sports directly to your inbox. Sign up for the Daily at KLIN.com.
As our voice on the University of Nebraska Board of Regents, Republican Rob Schaefer is getting the job done. Schaefer is working to keep tuition affordable, hold the line on spending, and ensure the university better reflects our conservative values. That's why the Nebraska Farm Bureau and U.S. Senators Deb Fischer and Pete Ricketts have endorsed Rob Schaefer. For experienced leadership and conservative common sense, vote Republican Rob Schaefer for Regent.
Paid for by Rob Schaefer for Board of Regents.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Democrat dark money groups are trying to buy the U.S. Senate, backing far-left, deceptive Dan Osborne. The leaders we trust most know Deb Fischer is Nebraska's choice. Here's Senator Pete Ricketts.
Deb Fischer is my partner in the Senate, tough on the border and delivering conservative results. Re-electing Deb will mean Republican control so we can get America back on track. I fully endorse Deb Fischer.
Former Governor Dave Heineman.
Deb Fischer delivers for Nebraska. When I was governor, Deb was one of my closest partners, helping pass what was at the time the largest tax cut in Nebraska history.
President Donald Trump.
Vote for Deb Fischer. She has my complete and total endorsement. She will continue to make you proud.
Conservative leader Deb Fischer, Nebraska's choice for Senate. Vote on November 5th. Paid for by ESA Fund, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. ESA-fund.com.
Whose team is Dan Osborne on? The D.C. Democrats. Osborne says he loves Bernie Sanders. He promised to vote to pass their Green New Deal, which would destroy farming and ranching in Nebraska. And Osborne is on record saying he would reward illegal aliens entering our state with amnesty and Social Security benefits.
There definitely needs to be a clear path to citizenship. Just give him a damn Social Security card.
The Green New Deal would cost us our jobs. Illegal immigration costs us our security. If Dan Osborne wins, we lose. But Deb Fischer and President Trump are on our team. Deb will work with President Trump to secure our border. And she'll fight the left's big government agenda, threatening our jobs and freedoms. Trump's choice and Nebraska's voice. Deb Fischer for Senate.
I'm Deb Fischer. I'm running for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Fisher Victory Fund. Join Deb Fischer's team. Give today. FisherVictoryFund.com.
You're listening to Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald. Disagree with Doug? The guests? The topic? Call or text 402-479-1400 now to be a part of the show. KLIN weather brought to you by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical.
Mainly clear and cool this evening with the temperature dropping into the upper 30s by midnight. After midnight, mainly clear and chilly with a low in the low 30s. Saturday, mostly sunny to partly cloudy and seasonal. The high temperature in the mid 60s. From the 1011 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brandon Rector.
KLIN Time Saver Traffic, delivered by Paisanos, Lincoln's best brick oven pizza.
Couple accidents to pass along. You have one north of 70th and Pioneers near Holmes Lake Park, and also south of 27th and Sumner. Want to find an alternative route and try to avoid those areas if at all possible. Also, the slow going on South 9th and Van Dorn and eastbound O Street between 22nd and 27th Street and North 11th and Cornhusker. Do keep in mind that there are several downtown street and building projects. Do watch your speed and watch for lane shifts and closures in the downtown area. See anything that slows you down, call our traffic tip line 402-479-1414. That's another check of your time saver traffic.
Tackling the issues that truly matter to Nebraskans head on. With the occasional targeting call, this is Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald on 1499.3 KLIN.
Well, welcome back to the show. Wyatt, you had something on your mind?
Oh, yeah. I always love reading the texts coming in from our listeners.
They're fun.
They are fun. And believe me, I would be reading a majority of them if I was a millionaire, because some of these words we're not really allowed to say on air, and we will get fined big sums of money. But
we always say, if you don't agree, call or text in.
in.
I love it, and we'll put you in front of the line too. So
just don't be cussing.
That's right. Well, we love our sponsors. We want to thank our title sponsor, Lincoln Coin and Bullion, for taking care of us. My trusted precious metals team for well over 10 years now, and they've helped me out in the purchase of gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. If you want to work with them, they work by appointment only. Call them up, 402-327-2853. That's 402-327-2853. Yesterday, we had a great show with Greg Clark. He's the director of operations from a nonprofit, Hot Meals USA. It's right here in Kearney, Nebraska, which is pretty cool. They do an amazing job serving tens of thousands of meals across the country to first responders and victims of disasters, which I didn't realize how big they are. And again, they're located right in Kearney, so you got to check out that episode. You can check out the podcast at KLIN.com or your favorite podcast service. Well, today we get to hear from another amazing nonprofit impacting thousands of people throughout the U.S. and 8 other countries around the world. Rodney Smith Jr. from Raising Men and Women Lawn Care Service is joining us on the phone. Rodney, welcome to Drive Time Nebraska. We're glad you're here.
Oh, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, let's get started. I would love our audience to learn more about you. Share your story and ultimately how you started this nonprofit.
Yeah, so I'm originally from the island of Bermuda. I came to the United States probably when I was 16, finished my last 2 years of high school in a small boarding school upstate New York. And it was the best 2 years of my life. After graduating from there, I went to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, because I thought I wanted to do something with computers. During that time, I had a hard time adjusting. And it was one night I just prayed to God to ask him to use me as a vessel. After I'd done that, nothing happened. Then nothing happened a month later, not a year later, not even a few years later. Happened further down the line. And at this point in life, I was in my senior year of college in Huntsville, Alabama, at Alabama A&M University. And I was leaving school one day, and I happened to come across an elderly man outside mowing his lawn. it looked like he was struggling. So I done what anyone would do. I pulled over and helped him out. And little did I know that one small act of kindness would end up changing my life forever. And since that day, I've been mowing free lawns for the elderly, disabled, single parents, and veterans. I made a goal to myself to mow 40 lawns by the end of winter, because at the time I was in college. So I thought I could mow 40 lawns in between classes. But I moved 40 lawns so quick that I had my goal to 100. A month and a half later, I reached my 100th lawn. And that's when I came up with the idea of the nonprofit we have today called Raising Men and Women Lawn Care Service, where I'll still mow free lawns for the elderly, disabled, single parents, and veterans. But now I'll also include kids locally to come out and mow with me and show them the importance of giving back and helping those in need. So that's kind of how it basically started back in 2015, 16.
That is great. Why? So let me ask you this: what was the seed that was planted to help start working with younger kids to be able to help them to give back? What was it about that you said, hey, you know what? I'm going to get some young men, some young women. Let's start serving our community this way. What sparked that?
I'm just seeing it was a need and get kids off the video games and out doing something productive in the community. So, just kind of worked itself out. And then started with a few kids locally. Then, eventually we got some national attention after going viral on the internet way back then. And then it slowly started to grow. And then I think once COVID hit, a lot of kids were home for that time period. And that's when we saw a big growth overnight. And, a lot of kids signed up from that. And then since then, it's just continued growing and growing and growing.
What are your numbers right now? How many total kids have served their community? And I also hear you're in 8 different countries.
Yeah, so it's about 5,000 kids across the country that are taking part in our organization. About maybe 400 plus have completed it. We have kids in 8 other different countries. So Canada, Bermuda, England. There's a kid that signed up in Japan, Australia, Germany, Sweden, I believe South Africa. They all sign up in.
That is really awesome. And you provide what's called the 50 Lawn Challenge, correct? Something to that effect. Kind of explain that, what you're challenging these kids to do, and then what they can earn along the way.
Yeah, so we started something called the 50-Yard Challenge. The 50-Yard Challenge is a challenge issued to kids nationwide and even worldwide to mow 50 free lawns for the elderly, disabled, single parents, and veterans in their community. We also include raking leaves and snow shoveling. So let's say your son or daughter accepted a 50-yard challenge. What they'll do is they'll make a sign saying, I accept the 50-yard challenge. And in return, we will send them a white Raising Men shirt or Raising Women t-shirt along with safety glasses and ear protection. So it's kind of set out like the karate system. So every 10 lawns they do, they get a different color t-shirt. Once they move 10, they get a orange, 20 yards of green, 30 of blue, 40 of red, and 50 lawns earns a black. Then once they move 50 free lawns in their community, I personally get in my vehicle and drive to them wherever they are, or fly up internationally or in Alaska and Hawaii, and I present them a brand new mower, weed eater, and blower for completing this 50-yard challenge. And yeah, that's the basic idea of it. And it started in 2016, and it's grown ever since.
That's so good. So you actually go to their home. You deliver a brand new lawnmower, weed eater, and blower. You are traveling right now. Where are you? Where have you been just today?
Yeah, so I left Alabama a little earlier. Right now I'm in Illinois, headed to Springfield, Illinois to meet a kid that finished the 50-yard challenge out there. And I'll drive some more tonight and then pull over, then continue my way to Michigan. Some kids out in Michigan finished the 50-yard challenge.
And I saw on social media today, you actually mowed a lawn this morning before you left. Is that right?
Not this morning. I just posted a picture of me just leaving. You might have saw a picture from yesterday. But yesterday I was mowing a lot yesterday.
Yeah, so you're just active. You're out there doing this. Is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. You also have videos of some of the kids who have achieved that 50-yard challenge. So I'm going to play a clip of that in our next break. So I'm going to take a break here.
Okay.
And when we come back, I'd like to hear more stories too of these kids and how it's impacting their lives and the people around them. So doing a great job there. Sure. Your website, before we go, is it weareraisingmen.com? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
weareraisingmen.com. So if you want more information, you're listening, check it out. You got to go there. This is an amazing story. Check them out on social media as well. All right, we're going to take a break here. And when we return, we'll hear more about those individual stories of the youth that are serving people around the country, including Nebraska. The reason why I got tipped off to this is because Rodney was in Nebraska not too long ago, giving that 50 Challenge Award to a young man here. Plus your chance to play Fantasy Huskers. It's right around the corner. Get ready to text it in. Cities from across the state, they are listening to Drive Time Nebraska.
Insights into a world of noise and confusion.
They say what I think, but smarter.
1499.3 KLIN.
An energy tip from LES. As weather cools, switch your ceiling fan direction to clockwise, which allows an updraft to circulate warm air around your room.
There are just 2 new red trucks left out there in Trucks and Bucks. Visit a Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Tune in to Retirement Compass Radio Show with Stonebridge.
Times change, your life changes, your risk tolerance changes. And so that's really where working with a professional comes into play, is to say, how do I pull this together and make it work as part of a plan? How do I make it so I can sit back, relax, and enjoy the music?
Saturdays at 8 a.m. on KLIN.
Across Nebraska, voters will have the chance to end the current government abortion ban. The government shouldn't be making decisions for families' health care, but right now they are. Ending the ban takes 2 votes. A vote against 434, the first initiative, and then a vote for 439, the last initiative. It's only this combination that will finally get the government out of the personal medical decisions of Nebraska families. Voting against 434 and for 439 ensures that when there's a medical emergency, it's Nebraska families who decide what to do, not the government. This vote against 434 and for 439 makes it so our Nebraska doctors can treat every patient. The government put this ban in place, stripping Nebraska families of their freedom, but you can end it with 2 votes. The first against 434, and then vote for 439. Paid for by Protect Our Rights.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bosin. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and proud to be involved in our community. Property tax relief is important to every family. Last year, I voted for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history, and I will continue to advocate for property tax relief. Vote Carolyn Bosin on November 5th. Paid for by Bosin for Legislature.
You're listening to Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald. More of the show coming up on 1499.3 KLIN. KLIN weather brought to you by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical.
Mainly clear and cool this evening, with the temperature dropping into the upper 30s by midnight. After midnight, mainly clear and chilly with a low in the low 30s. Saturday, mostly sunny to partly cloudy and seasonal. The high temperature in the mid-60s. From the 1011 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brandon Rector.
KLIN Time Saver Traffic, delivered by Paisanos, Lincoln's best brick oven pizza.
Winding down your Friday evening commute, a couple of accidents that you do want to avoid the areas of north of 70th and Pioneers, also south of 27th and Sumner. So try to find alternative routes. Also some slow going on South 9th and Van Dorn. Eastbound O Street between 22nd and 27th Street, and North 11th and Cornhusker. Do keep in mind that streets throughout Lincoln will be temporarily closed tomorrow and Sunday for the 11th annual Good Life Hasley Half Marathon. Police will control intersections along the race route, and residents are advised to plan ahead for traffic delays. That's another check here. Time Saver Traffic.
Draining threes on the issues that truly matter to Nebraskans, with the occasional technical or two. This is Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald on 1499.3 KLIN.
Well, Jim, thanks for the text. We appreciate that. Lisa and Sam, thanks for the love on social media. It's time to play Fantasy Huskers. Your chance to put your name in the hat to win some Valentinos or Best of the Big Red, maybe even both. Text this word in, band, B-A-N-D, like we have the best band. Actually, it's Ohio State probably what they're referring to, but
Yeah,
we'll take it.
you know, we got love for the band.
That's right. Text band into 402-479-1400 right now for your chance to win. Tomorrow, obviously, we're taking on number 4, Ohio State. Pregame's at 7 a.m., kickoff at 11 a.m. You can hear it right here at KLIN. And speaking of the Huskers, we're playing Cornhusker Pride by veteran Phil Nickerson at the end of the show to root on the Huskers. And then also volleyball. Volleyball's going on tonight. Number 2 and number 1, they're split. Number 2 and number 1 Husker volleyball team takes on Illinois this evening. Pregame starts right after the show tonight at 6 o'clock. First serve at 7. Again, you can hear that right here on KLIN. Rodney Smith Jr. from Raising Men and Women Lawn Care Service is a nonprofit. He's joining us on the phone. He's got over 5,000 young men and women mowing lawns for those who really can't take care of them themselves. So, Rodney, you are traveling right now across the country to deliver lawnmowers, blowers, weed eaters to kids who have completed the 50-yard challenge. And I'm gonna play a clip here from a couple of the kids that have won this challenge, and then I'd love to get your reaction.
Good afternoon, and what is your name?
My name is Camden.
All right, Camden, and how old are you?
I'm 12. Well, I just turned 13 today.
Okay, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And you just completed the 50-yard challenge. How was it?
Yes, I did. It was pretty good.
Yeah?
I got to know my neighbors a little better. I got to learn more about them, and it felt good to serve people.
Okay, and what was difficult about it?
Because it was really hard because it's really tiring when you're trying to mow the lawns.
Yeah.
And sometimes it hurts, like if you step in a hole or something.
Yeah. Good afternoon, and what is your name?
Sienna.
Okay, Sienna, and how old are you?
I'm 10.
Okay, you're 10 years old. You just completed the 50-yard challenge. How was it?
It was awesome.
It was awesome. What did you like about it?
I loved seeing the joy on people's faces when they came out and saw me doing their lawn.
Yeah, and did you have a favorite lawn?
My favorite one was for this one person who was going through chemo. They never knew that I did it.
Yeah. So you're like a lawn angel. Okay, and last question. If a kid was watching this video and they were thinking about taking on the 50-yard challenge, what advice would you give to them?
I would tell them that this is a perfect opportunity to learn how to serve and learn how to do hard work.
Congratulations again.
Rodney, I heard you were recently in Nebraska as well. Who did you come to visit?
Oh, there's been a few kids. Man.
Put you on the spot there.
The names off top right now. There's been so many kids.
But you were in Nebraska recently, right?
Yep. One kid I seen a few weeks ago was named Tucker in Cozad, Nebraska.
Cozad.
Yeah. Yep. Cozad.
You traveled a long way, Alabama to Cozad. Yeah. That's a trip, my friend.
Yeah, that was a long drive.
So what's it like? You hear these testimonies from the kids, you get to go out and see them, you get to interview them. What does that mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot seeing kids, take on a challenge that you started. I never would have thought it would be this big. I even never would have thought I'd be doing this. I went to school to be a computer scientist, but to see kids wanting to make a difference in their community, it's a beautiful thing. They could be doing anything else. They could be inside playing video games, but instead they want to make a difference in their community. And it's always good to see, because I know when I was younger, I hated mowing lawns, but God took something I disliked and turned it to something I love to do. And I get to do this every single day. And I get to encourage kids around America to make a difference one lawn at a time.
How many different states have you been to then, as you presented the 50-yard challenge?
I've been over a good bit of them, but I've also traveled to all 50 states 19 times on my 50-state mowing tour. And that's basically when I customize a lawnmower and go to all 50 states. I drive to 48 and fly to Alaska and Hawaii. I have a customized lawnmower, and I pick a cause to mow for. And then at the end, I would auction the lawnmower off. But I'll pick a cause, like let's say one was for breast cancer. So I had a pink lawnmower. I went to all 50 states and I moved for those who have breast cancer, those who have lost loved ones to breast cancer, or those who have survived breast cancer. And I moved the lawn, I interviewed them. And then I would go to the next state and do the same thing. And at the end, I would auction the lawnmower off and give 100% of the proceeds to a nonprofit associated with breast cancer. So I've done that a total of 19 times for different causes, and I've raised over about $19,000 for these different causes. And yeah, so I've been to all 50 states, with my 50-state mowing tour over 19 times, and I have kids across the country that have completed the 50-state 50-yard challenge. So I've been to many different cities across the country, and yeah, so it's been around a lot.
That is amazing. That's amazing. I love it when God plants a seed and you just act by faith and you move on it, and then it grows into something you never anticipated.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You also do, I saw on the website as well, you do mowing with cops. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that was like one of my 50-state tours. That's what started it off. I customized a lawnmower that looked like a police car, so I bought a light bar from a company online. I attached it to my lawnmower, and I made my lawnmower like a police vehicle, so it had law enforcement on it, and I had a light bar, and I went to all 50 states, and I invited police officers out in each state that I mowed in to come out and mow with me. And my goal with that was to encourage officers in the communities come out and let's do something together, because I thought free lawn care and community policing had something in common. And after that 50-state mowing tour, I contacted Toro, who I had a relationship with, and I told them I want to make more of these police lawnmowers and donate them to police departments across the country, so they can go in their community and make a difference. And with those lawnmowers, and that's what started Mowing with Cops. So I've donated probably over 10 lawnmowers across the country, maybe even more, maybe 15 right now, to different police departments. I have about 7 in my storage right now that I need to finish up, and I'll donate them to other police departments, and they'll go in the community and mow free lawns and bridge that gap between community policing with the community.
That is awesome. Seriously, that's amazing. What's your future dream with this? Do you have any future goals? Like, what's your plan?
Well, the goal is to continue growing it. I see it being a big need. This is not just mowing; it's also raking leaves and snow shoveling. So there's a need year round. So eventually start chapters. I see it being like a Big Brother, Big Sisters organization across the country, and so that's the goal, just to continue growing and help as many people as we can.
I'm sure you obviously would welcome any type of support. How can people get involved? How can they get more information about what you're doing?
Yeah, so we have a website at weareraisingmen.com or raisingmenandwomen.com. And on there's many different ways to help out. They can donate funds, or they can go to an Amazon wish list or Walmart wish list, and they can purchase the equipment. And once they purchase it, they're sent to us. And then once kids complete the 50-yard challenge, I just load it up and I go deliver it to the kids.
Well, Rodney, that's amazing. Next time you're in Nebraska, I'd love, if you're in Lincoln, we'd love to have you stop by, have you in the studio again and talk about this, because I want to continue supporting what you're doing. It's amazing work. I think you're doing a great job. Just keep it up, my friend.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Have a safe trip this weekend.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, I tell you what, I told you that was awesome. Like, the work that he's doing and the organizations and the people he's touching around the country is amazing. So go to their website, weareraisingmen.com, and find a way to support him. And you're going to make a tremendous difference in a lot of people's lives. All right, we're going to take a final break here. We're still playing Fantasy Huskers. You can text in the word BAND, B-A-N-D, to 402-479-1400. And we're going to pick a winner here in just a few minutes. Plus, we'll be playing Cornhusker Pride by Phil Nickerson. Thanks so much for listening on your drive home today. We appreciate it, and we'll be back just after this.
Your home for intelligent conversation and informed analysis.
They stick to the facts.
1499.3 KLIN. Nebraska volleyball is coming up next on 1499.3 KLIN.
Kamala's inflation is damn near costing me everything. But Dan Osborne is siding with them, not us. Osborne supports amnesty for illegal aliens and wants to give our jobs away to foreign workers. He'll give them our Social Security, too. Dan Osborne, same old Democrat BS, just a different D.C. puppet.
I'm Deb Fisher. I'm running for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Fisher Victory Fund.
Join Deb Fisher's team. Give today. FisherVictoryFund.com.
Buying gold and silver can seem intimidating, even overwhelming. At Lincoln Coin and Bullion, we take the time to help you through every step. For those new to precious metals, we set aside a private, full-hour, no-obligation consultation. Our knowledgeable team are all members of nationally recognized coin associations and have earned an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call to schedule a first-time consultation today. Nebraska's largest coin, currency, and bullion dealer. Lincoln Coin and Bullion, where your precious metal needs are our priority.
There's a lot of confusion around women's health care on your November ballot. To protect women and children, you have to vote on two separate initiatives. Vote for Initiative 434 and vote no on Initiative 439. That's voting for, and voting no on 9. Vote for clear, scientific, compassionate standards that protect women and doctors. Vote no on 9 against vague, unscientific laws that invite government intrusion. Vote for to preserve parents' right to know when their daughters are in crisis. Vote no on 9 against care by those who aren't licensed physicians. Vote for to protect patients, women, and children across Nebraska. On your ballot, remember, protecting women and children and keeping patients safe takes 2 votes. Vote for Initiative 434 and vote no on Initiative 439. That's 4 and no on 9. Paid for by Protect Women and Children.
And now it's time for another installment of Things You Need to Know, brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows.
The average home loses 30% of its heat through old windows. Also, Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers unbeatable pricing on triple pane windows with a lifetime warranty. Experience seamless financing and professional installation from their local family-owned team.
Now you're in the know. Visit heartlandofnebraskawindows.com to upgrade today.
Kamala's inflation is damn near costing me everything. But Dan Osborne is siding with them, not us. Osborne supports amnesty for illegal aliens and wants to give our jobs away to foreign workers. He'll give them our Social Security, too. Dan Osborne, same old Democrat BS, just a different D.C. puppet.
I'm Deb Fisher. I'm running for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Fisher Victory Fund.
Join Deb Fisher's team. Give today. FisherVictoryFund.com.
You're listening to Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald. More of the show coming up on 1499.3 KLIN. KLIN weather brought to you by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical.
Mainly clear and cool this evening with the temperature dropping into the upper 30s by midnight. After midnight, mainly clear and chilly with a low in the low 30s. Saturday, mostly sunny to partly cloudy and seasonal. The high temperature in the mid-60s. From the 1011 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brandon Rector.
Tackling the issues that truly matter to Nebraskans head on. With the occasional targeting call, this is Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald on 1499.3 KLIN.
I wonder how many times so far we've had Fantasy Huskers.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
And we ain't stopping, man. We're what, halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of good chances to win. Congrats to Lewis for texting in and playing Fantasy Huskers. I don't even think we've had a duplicate winner for as many as we've done. So that's a good thing. I don't know if we can have it. I mean, can we have a duplicate?
I don't know. That's not my department.
All right. Is that above or below your pay grade?
Way above.
Okay. So, Lewis, congratulations. All you have to do is text in how many pass attempts for Nebraska against Ohio State tomorrow. Your name's now in the hat to possibly win $50 to Valentino's and $50 to Best of Big Red. You can tune in Monday morning on L&K Today with Jack and Friends for your next chance to win. Speaking of the Huskers, you were talking about the game tomorrow. It's an early game, 7 a.m. Pregame, 11 o'clock kickoff. It's Ohio State. They're number 4. Mm-hmm. You said it's been a lot talked about. I've been kind of removed this week, just really busy with a lot of different things. What have you been hearing about this game? I mean, do we have a chance?
I think since the season started, pretty much everyone has said there's no chance for winning. But I find it very interesting that it's still a very talked about game. which I find very interesting because obviously Nebraska's they're 5-2 if I'm correct.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not terrible. We're definitely on the up than we have been since past seasons. But for some reason, everyone has just been like, yeah, Ohio State definitely losing this game. And it's been very interesting because Fox's big new kickoff is at this week's game,
right?
Which is usually their feature of the week. So it's kind of been mind-boggling, but I think that's just going to mean it's going to be a greater game.
All I know is I'm going to say what my son says, Dylan, right? With Boys Down Bad. He's like, hey, I'm going for it. They're going to win. Why wouldn't you?
I still got faith in them. Hey, that's the beauty of college football, man. Anything can happen.
And especially this year. There have been so many upsets this year of top 10 teams, top 20 teams even.
Exactly. Like the whole atmosphere of college football has shifted this year. It's been insane. Like it's a great time to be a college football fan right now.
Transfer portal. Just saying.
Transfer portal. Alabama's down. All the big dogs are up and down. It's crazy, man.
We're still down, but we're getting there.
We're no, Doug. We're on the up.
There.
Don't say that.
We're getting there. That, well, so the post that I saw today that got me to thinking about some things was somebody was asking about, where is that Husker team that played against Colorado? Because we look like a different team compared to that Colorado game. I don't know what has changed. But we looked at that time like we possibly could beat Ohio State.
We dominated that game, Doug. That was one of the greatest days as a Husker fan.
But what changed?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know. And I think a lot of people are wondering that too. On both sides of the ball, no one has been consistent, it felt like, throughout since CU up to now. That's been the insane thing, is there's really no consistency, it seems.
Well, I'm going to go for it. We're going to have an upset.
All right, you heard it here first on Drive Time Nebraska.
I won't give a score. I'm just going to say we had an upset. It's either going to be an upset of beating them or an upset stomach from not beating them. So I'm going to win either way. I'm going to set myself up to win, Wyatt.
Sure, Doug. Sure.
Okay. Say, you also brought up that I did not realize that Husker basketball is starting this weekend.
Yeah. Husker basketball is in full swing, man. I'm excited for Husker basketball.
Men's and women's, or just women's?
Men and women, man. Both playing on Sunday.
So I know the women's are playing Doane. Do you know who the men's basketball team's playing?
Grand Valley State.
Oh yeah, it's right there. You can hear that on KL. Both of them. No, that on KLN. Women's on B107.3.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's talk about what's coming up next on Drive Time Nebraska next week. Monday, we'll have Senator Pete Ricketts in. Tuesday, Talking Text Tuesday. Wednesday, Senator Luann Linehan will be in. We're going to talk about the referendum for 435. I really want to talk about school choice. I don't agree with this referendum. I really don't. And I think it's something that is the unions are pushing. It's not going to take away from the public school systems at all. It's not even part of their budget. And the school choice that the schools that these families can choose from could go to public schools. If you have a different public school in your area that could better suit your son or daughter's needs. So I am excited to talk to her about that and kind of get more insight. Thursday and Friday, we're going to have county commissioners on. There are some things going on. There's more shenanigans going on that have ratcheted up over the last couple of days. I know a commissioner has claimed that they're being endorsed by somebody that they're technically not being endorsed by. We're also seeing some pretty negative ads, postcards going out in the commissioner race of all things.
Gosh, I know that's been insane. And here's my question for you, Doug. We are nearing the single-digit days leading up to election day.
11, yep.
11. It's been insane. And I know Nebraska has certainly been a hotbed, which a lot of people have not expected this year. So what are you looking for in these next few days? Because I think it's going to be all hands on deck. Everything's coming out the corners. It's going to be an all-out brawl, I think.
It seems that Kamala, Kamala, as some people would want me to say, is losing steam.
Yeah, I would agree on that. She's definitely losing steam.
And if that's the case, we're going to see everything come out. Well, we're already seeing it. There was a lady, was it yesterday or the day before, said that Trump sexually abused her, and that story didn't even line up. Like the timing, the person, the place, it didn't even line up. And so I think the stuff they're throwing at Trump, they've already thrown so much over at him over the last 8 to 10 years that it doesn't matter anymore. Like people go, they're just throwing stuff at him just because. But I think on the flip side of that, I think there could be some things that are going to come out about Harris walls that might come out that might totally even shift it even further. That's my thought. And then if it looks like Trump's going to get closer and closer, I'm afraid there's going to be more stuff that goes on that might hinder him from even making it to the 5th.
Oh yeah, that's
I
gonna
hate to say that, but
what do you see? What is your prediction that's going to happen locally here in Nebraska?
Prediction.
Do you have any? Do you see a certain outcome? Because it's been a tight one. Because we've been talking here in the newsroom. It has been an all-out brawl for that Senate spot, man.
Yeah, no, I still think Deb's gonna Senator Fisher's gonna take it. I think we'll keep the supermajority in the legislature. That's just my predictions. I think we're seeing too much stuff being thrown at that and even the polling that people are saying. I just from Dan Osborne, he paid for that polling that says that he's up. So I think Senator Fisher will take it. So, all right. Well, speaking of that, Tuesday, November 5th, we're gonna have Drive Time Nebraska. 5 to 7 doing election coverage. All right. Thanks so much for listening today. We are going to play Phil Nickerson's song Cornhusker Pride because we're going to root on the Huskers. We want to thank Rodney Smith for joining us today. Great story. Listen to the podcast at klin.com. And special thanks to my producer, Wyatt. There's only 246,600 seconds left until we see each other again, my friends. Sees everyone. Husker Volleyball is up next. Have a great weekend. Go Big Red.
Underneath the big sky, where the cornfields sway, in the heart of Nebraska, it's game day today. With their helmets shining bright and their hearts full of fire, the Huskers hit the field, chasing dreams they aspire. Oh, the boys in red, they're fighting hard, with number 15 leading the charge. From the line to the end zone, they're giving their all. For the love of the game, they'll rise and they'll fall. With every cheer from the stands so loud, we're standing together, Nebraska proud. The big guys on the line, they're the backbone of the team, pushing through the tough times, chasing every dream. With every snap of the ball, you can feel the thrill. The spirit of the Huskers, it's a heart-stopping thrill. Oh, the boys in red, they're fighting hard, with number 15 leading the charge. From the line to the end zone, they're giving their all. For the love of the game, they'll rise and they'll fall. With every cheer from the stands so loud, we're standing together, Nebraska proud. When the whistle blows, when the clock's winding down, you can hear the roar of the crowd in the town. With grit and determination, they'll never back down. In the land of the Cornhuskers, we wear that crown. Oh, the boys in red, they're fighting hard, with number 15 leading the charge. From the line to the end zone, they're giving their all. For the love of the game, they'll rise and they'll fall. With every cheer from the stands so loud, we're standing together, Nebraska proud. Here's to the Huskers, our hearts in the fight. With every touchdown, they light up the night. In the land of the brave.
From the Momo Pizzeria and Ristorante Studios, we are the voice of Lincoln. KLIN Lincoln. KDDK HD3 Lincoln. K257GN Lincoln is 1499.3 KLIN.